trying to figure out what the hell this is for. Sometimes we don't make notes or comments to fall back on. Let me see if I have anything in the changelog about it. Let's see, we're looking for DI. Oops. No, I didn't make a note of what these are for. Interesting. I'll figure it out eventually. So, oh, initialize, that's what it is. We're initializing the arrays. That's what those are for. Let's make a note of that. Init planets arrays. So, DA, so it's data a destroyed planet. Does it add destroyed planet? I don't know what those are for. There's no, there's nothing for them anyway either in here yet. So I'm not sure what those do. Alright, so that's that section of it. So now we need to add calls to all those from over there. So ds.get mission name. We're going to say mname equals get mission name mcode. mdesk equals ds.get mission desk mcode. Mission type, I believe, is next. Yeah. mtype equals ds.get mtype mcode. Mission CBE rec equals ds.get mission CBE rec mcode. And we just keep on adding them like that until we get to the end. So mission SC rec Actually, it might just be easier to do it this way. With these ones, instead of typing everything out, just delete all the stuff we don't need. Oops. Move the ints. Equals ds.get mission xr. I'll just copy paste this and change as needed. RR. Oops. We did forget one thing though. Actually, no, we just want this part. Alright, then finally we want to standardize the spacing here. Just to make it easier to read. Alright, so there's the mission. Now, let's see. Now we need to get some of these other ones in here, so update mission. Which will probably add in another This is a good question. Because update mission is going to be used in the future when we have missions that have more than one stage to them. Not going to be used just yet, so maybe we don't need update mission at the moment. But these other ones we will have to use. But I think for now we're just gonna. Let's see, where are we at with time here? Just how much I've re-recorded so far. Devlogs, let's see. No, 1-1. Okay. So we've got about an hour and 11 minutes with this. I think I'll go ahead and I'll stop for right now. I'll probably come back later on and do some more recording here for this, but for now I'm just gonna stop and take a break, work on some other stuff, and then we'll come back to it. So, thanks for watching this first half of this dev vlog, and I will see you probably in 3 to 5 hours. Alright everyone, we're back, and we're going to continue here for maybe 25, 30, 45 minutes for the last part of our developer's vlog here. So what I want to do with this one is I just want to do a large section of coding, just like finish this whole mission system, if you will. Just to kind of give you a bit more in-depth look of how I go through the process of creating something entirely new, in the hopes that you get an idea of how these kinds of ideas come to fruition, and also why they sometimes take so long to do, because of things you have to take into consideration, ideas you have while you're making the thing itself, and other issues that pop up. Like, for instance, maybe you think up of a way to do everything much more efficiently than you originally had it, and you have to remake a lot of the things that are associated with it. Like, for instance, I'm gonna have to go back through in the mission database, and add in a section for the actual requirements for gathering missions. for certain gathering missions that have a specific resource that they want you to find with a specific amount of it, instead of just the one I have, the default one, the demo one, if you will. That's just takes everything and gives you a certain amount of money per resource. But anyway, see, and here's one thing that we need to do. We need to put in a well, here's the thing now. Should we I'm trying to figure out how this would be best to be done, because it is part of the player class, but there's also the mission class now. But that's for each individual mission. But the overlap is that each individual each individual mission is technically its own entity. So does that mean that that entity should be allowed to update itself, remove itself, transmit its own data, complete itself, or should all that be done from within the player class accessing that mission object? That's kind of that's an example of the type of dilemma that you may sometimes face in programming. Is that there are two ways you could do it, two distinct ways. Both are correct, but you have to decide which is either more efficient or more correct for what you're trying to do. In this case, either one could be fine, because it's going to be the same amount of code no matter what. There might be a little less code because some of these also connect into functions within the mission object that are essentially the same thing, but you have to have a way to get to that mission, and that's through the player class, since the vector is part of the player class. Now there'd be another way to do it, which is to make the mission class a missions class, which would hold the vector and do all that stuff, but then you'd have to have a whole thing, a whole massive system / class like we have with the message processing. I want this one to be self-contained within another class and kept as small as possible. So in this case, the other way is not really plausible for what I'm trying to accomplish with it. Now, it may have to become that kind of a system in the future, but for right now, it could work this way. So we're going to go ahead and add the void complete mission function in. Complete mission and give resources. Or I guess we'll say rewards instead. Rewards.
And also, we're gonna have to add in. I just thought of this too because we're gonna need. There are some missions that are gonna give you experience as well. So we need to put in a uh, new function here, a new member variable here, and a new array element into the uh, missions database matrix that will track or allow you to give um, experience, and there may also be other ones where you give items as well. So we might have two actually. I think that'd probably be better to do. So with the rewards, I guess we put it at the end here for EXP, and then that's what's called item. So we'll have to add those in. Look at the end here. This one, with all the ones we have right now, there aren't going to be any. Well, zero's not going to work. We have to go null with this one. So it's two more, so 24. Then we have to come down to the bottom on this one and change one thing around here. Where is it? It's at the very, very bottom. This should be 23, and then we have to add in 21 and 22, which are both going to be int returning things here. So get exp reward 21, and then get item reward. Now this one we're going to have to do something different here. So we're going to have this, and now if data equals null, we're just going to do a break, so it won't return anything if it works the way I think it will. Else, and then else, if it is something other than null, then we'll return the item number after we convert it to an int. So now we gotta add those over here. Int get mission exp reward int m code, and then int get mission item reward int m code. So we'll say item. Let's preface this here. Make a subcategory, if you will. Say mission reward functions. Reward return function. Let's say return functions. And then we can just say what that specific one is, instead of having to type out, mission reward, whatever. Plutonium, uranium, oops, platinum, lithium, draconic, diamonds, ruby, and of course Zorn. Then this will go up here. Alright, so we got those in now. So up here we need to add in the m exp reward equals ds.get Here's what we'll do. We'll make it return -1. Yeah, see, break won't work. I was gonna say maybe. So return -1. Because that's an integer, so we could return that. And then add in a thing that says, so if this is like a -1, then there's not going to be any item that's returned. And so it won't look for that or something like that. And that's how we can use it. Oh, MEXPR. Whoops. There. M item reward. Alright, so we added those. We'll go ahead and add the 2 member variables there. Int exp reward int mir. Alright, so now we need to consider how this is going to work. So what this should do is we should have only the functions that will directly either return the data or that will change the data or somehow change the mission object itself. So in other words, we wouldn't have a complete function in here, a mission completed function in here. The mission completed function from the player class will access several different functions within this class to obtain the data it needs to complete itself. And that also includes setting this. So we need something like void get rewards. Let's see. Let's also add a an int MID for mission ID, so that we'll know which mission this is. That's an important thing to have there. So MID equals M code. Just put that at the top there. Just so that we can easily track after we've gone through, maybe like say we've accepted the mission and have gone on and done some of the things and maybe even taken on another mission and completed that one first. You wouldn't be able to recall what the M code was for the first mission because you've taken the second mission and now that's what the M code is set to. So you want to be able to record what the M code was at the point which the mission was created for future access. And also to make sure that you don't have any problems with 2 missions being taken separately causing issues between each other because you didn't track it, and now you have to figure out which mission is completed and which object to update. So if you keep track of the ID within the object itself, it makes it a lot easier. So now
say get rewards, void return, and void get basic info, basic mission info, let's say. And that'll print out the data that's needed. Or we may send it to the message processing class somehow to work that way. I think it's time to do it. I have an idea of how that could be accomplished, but I think it's time to test that. So what I want to do is I want to create an instance of this class. Let's create a new class. New header file. Call it messages. I think you can already see where I'm going with it. If not defined, messages h, define messages h, probably won't need to use any let's see, class messages public then we'll just say print info, and that's all we'll do with it. So what this is about is we just have a class. We could probably make a struct out of it, but we're doing a class. Messages here, this allows you to create the reference to this class, and then print information will allow you to obtain information. Let's say player and player, and we'll add that here. Okay, so let's do a source file. What I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to try to pass a class reference or class object through a function call using the this command. I want to see if that's possible. Because if we can do that, then that's going to make, then we can just say, okay, we have this message object. We can send this through the function call to message processing without having to send each and every member variable. They'll send a pointer through to that's right, it's a pointer, so I want to do this. Pointer through that can be used to go back to that object without having to send all the different class members over to it to print out the information. If it works, it'll save a lot of time. If it doesn't, then we'll at least have tried it. So we need to make a new item, call it messages. Alright, so include IOStream, include string. I'm just including these because I don't know if I'll need them or not. Include player.h, include message.h using std namespace std. Alright, so message
So, we need to do a void on that one though, don't we? Void messages print info player. And so what we're going to do now is this. From inside of player, we're going to say void player send info. And we're going to say we'll pass through messages and MSG. Add the include here. And then we'll say msg.printinfo this. Let's see, inside a non-static member function, because it hasn't, maybe it's because it hasn't been added to here yet. So we'll see, void send info messages and MSG. Void send info messages and MSG. Declaration compatible with arrow because we don't have the yeah, we need to add it. Include. Okay, now it should work. So it looks like this could work. Alright, so now what we do is we come back over to messages and we'd say well, we'll see if it works or not. For messages, we want to say then player dot. Oh no, yeah, it's got a so count player name. So player get name. And we'll see if that works. So then back in main, what we're going to do is we're going to say choose value blah blah blah. So instead of what we do here, comment this out for the moment. And instead we're going to call, we'll make a messages thing up here. So, messages MSG. Of course we got to add messages.h. Now we come down here and we go p dot send info. Of course we also have to send MSG through. Then that'll go through there. It'll call this, and then this will print out the this will print out the player name, and that's how we'll know if it will work or not. So now we have to deal with this whole issue here of it not working correctly. I was wondering if that was going to be an issue. I'm not sure why it says error type for though. Player and player. Even though we have player.h included up here. I don't know if it's because there's not an empty constructor. No, there's an empty constructor. Error type. Messages h include player.h. Okay. Obviously it's not going to take the X, it has to be a pointer. Still going to say error type though. Sometimes you have to create this kind of a thing here. I don't know if it'll work properly or not, but we'll see. I had to do that on a previous thing to try and get it so it would work properly. So we have a name here and there. So we'll say 1. Player name, player name. Which is interesting. So, as a bit of extra debugging, I guess you could say, we're going to print the p name here. Of course, we need to include IO stream. Yes. Alright, so that's correct. Oh, I see. I had changed it. So actually, it may actually be working correctly. I just stupidly forgot that I had changed it like that. So it potentially could be working. Let's set up we have the HP there as well. Let's add that to the messages thing here. Count player health, player get HP. I'll remove the call from here, and then the unneeded code lines as well. I didn't need the string either, so I can get rid of that as well. Alright. That looks right. Now, if I remember correctly, I had something in here that if I guess, yeah, that'll work that way then. We'll have to use that class. I'm not sure it's a reference. It may just be like a redefinition or something to fully make it compatible. I'm not sure what exactly that does, but that apparently will work. So it's awesome when an idea that you have works after you've tested it, because it validates what you want to do. So what we'll do is we'll pass this off to through here, off to messages, and they can just pull the information they need to from there to put up the information as required. So let's see, include. Let's see if it works this way first. Mission.h. So mission info functions. So we need to have two of these. One's going to be for all the information, period, just everything, and then one's going to be the basic information. The basic information one is going to be for the active mission data, I think it was. If I get rid of player. Yeah, basic information. Then the get mission is going to be the entire thing. So we have to have a basic mission info and a comprehensive mission info. So void, we're going to say M for mission basic info, and then we're going to say mission, and then we'll just say miss, maybe just M. Say basic mission info, and then void M info, and same thing then with this. And comprehensive. I think that's spelled right. Alright, so. And the beauty of this is that the only thing that will change between these two is that this one will have fewer counts than this one will. This one will have counts for everything. This one only have counts for certain things. And so they're essentially the same function, but they have different applications. Show different information. And so it's not really, you probably could mix these two together, but then you'd have to pass another parameter to track whether it's the comprehensive one or the, well, if you can make two functions into one, it's probably going to be more efficient than having two functions. Some of the information, maybe what we'll do is we'll have just information, and if it's basic information, then we will say, okay, we'll just do this much. But if a bool parameter is true for comprehensive, there will be additional information displayed besides that. I think that's what we'll do with it. So we'll add a bool b comprehensive information. One rule about bools, as far as standards and practices or whatever goes, is that they should start with a B, so it signifies it's a bool, but then also either ask a question, as if is it true or false, is this for comprehensive information or not, or it should state something that could be read as being true or false, like the player is dead.
true or false, depending on what's happening. So it's either a question or a Boolean statement, if you will. In this case, it's a question. Well, no, it's a Boolean statement, comprehensive info. So if it's true, then we'll have all the other stuff. If not, then we won't. Mission M, yeah, see, it's working properly this way. I'm not sure why it wasn't working right on the other one. I've had that happen before. It depends on, I guess, how the stuff is coded or what's in it or something. I'm not really sure. But it is annoying when it happens because you have to do the workaround for that. So, we want to go ahead and put in the space there. Let's see, mission. Well, it's only going to be one, so. Oops. Alright, so void msg proc m info. And so mission m and bool bc info. Of course, we need to also add in the header file here. Include mission.h. Alright. So now the basic information is going to be the name, the description, the time limit, and the difficulty, I believe, is what we'll have, and the type of mission. So, basic information. So I'll just make notes of it for right here. So for the moment. So you want the name, description, type, duration, difficulty, and I guess we'll say the location. Of course, that'll be done in a slightly different manner. So here's how this will work then. Let's go ahead and bring these back over here. These will just be on the end of the statements here. So count so I want to go mission or M. Well, we got to create the get functions first, don't we? So let's go back over to mission real quick. Or wait, maybe we can do... Let me see. Now those are protected. Even if you're passing a pointer, it still acts like a reference. You can only access that information through functions. So yeah. So string get m name, string get m desk, string get m type, string get... I'm going to try and keep these in line with how we're working on this one over here. So it's the name, the type, name, description, type, duration, difficulty, and location. So type, duration, get mdir, that's just going to be an int. Crap. Difficulty and location, that's right. String get mdiff,
and location. String get m sector, string get m system. Basic info. And we'll add another one here for comprehensive info, which is everything else. We should probably add, no, because that would be too much to add the rewards as well. That would have been the comprehensive information. So the comprehensive information is going to be everything else. So int get mission ship class requirements. The okay. Next is going to be the target name and target ship class, if there is one. And then all the other stuff here. So int get m bounty, int get m xr, int get mrr, get m dir, int get mdr, get mlr, plr, ur first, then pr. Getting the m's in there. NWR. And then item requirement. Alright, so there's all the information there. So now over here, here's what we do. So m, we want the name, so get m name. Oops. Let me put a thing here, see. So the mission's name, and we say mission information. This one's going to be a bit different. On this one, we're going to say m get m sector. Then we're also going to add in this, and then m get m system. And what that'll do is it'll put the sector up, followed by a comma and a space, and then the system name. So, say for instance we do we're talking about the wolf quest, the second demo quest there. This information, when displayed on this last line, would look like this. Since it's alpha alpha, I believe. Sector A, System A. So, this is how it would look when it gets printed out. It would be Sector A, System A. First, you'd have location space, and that's how it would look while playing the game, reading the basic information for that specific quest. It would show up like that. So, now what we do is if BC info, that's all you have to do. If BC info equals true, then you also print up the other information here as well.